Well, you'll have to forgive me. It's not my thing to stare at a phone and talk to people, so probably gonna screw up a million times here, but I don't know. I'm just tired of listening to bullshit constantly about idiots that have decided social distancing doesn't mean a damn thing. We're 20 years, 25 years old, whatever. We'll go to the beach. We'll pack 13 people onto some asshole's boat and then go find 15 other boaters that have done the same fucking thing and congregate together in Florida or California or wherever these assholes have decided to do it. Because right now, it's all a mere suggestion to socially distance. And if you don't, and this continues, you are telling the government you want it to be enforced at the end of a gun. Because if you don't listen to suggestion, and it continues, and the healthcare system is overrun, and we start making the decisions that Italy and Spain and other countries are going to be facing, or are currently facing, where they're deciding to let the elderly die so that they can save younger people who have more years to live and have more chance to live based on their age and health. Once the machines run out, it's called triage. It's done on the battlefield. It has been done on the battlefield for years. If a guy looks like they're too hard to save, we move on to the next one. That is what they are doing in Italy and Spain currently. If you want that to happen here, just continue hanging out with each other. Maybe go, I don't know, look at your Facebook. Decide which one of your family members or your friends you'd like to see dead. Go hang out with them. Because if you assholes keep hanging out amongst each other in large groups, it only takes one of you to be infected. And then, 14 days later, the whole group of you is. Or 2 days, or whatever amount of days it takes to show up. And in that time, how many other people have you come in contact with that you don't know, don't care about? That's great. Doesn't matter to you, right? Well, how about all the people you do care about that you've come into contact with? Your mom and dad, your brother and sister, your aunts, uncles, grandparents, co-workers, lifelong friends. Do those people not matter to you? Is it just more important for you to hang out with friends right now and drink and party and whatever because, fuck it. We're healthy, we'll be fine. Well, a lot of you are obese, and that's a health concern with this. And we're seeing more and more that it's attacking younger people. We also have a bunch of people that are asthmatic. If you smoke weed, it's something that you're putting into your lungs. It puts you at a higher risk. If you're a cigarette smoker, if you're a vapor like I am, all this shit puts you at risk. If you eat shit constantly, if all you do is eat processed food that comes in a bag or whatever else, guess what? All of that stuff puts you at higher risk. But if you just listen, stay at home, use Snapchat, use Twitter, use every fucking social media platform possible, and stay in contact with your friends that way. There's Skype, there's FaceTime. How many other fucking apps do they have to where you can still see each other, but you can't transmit infections via phone? If you could, most of you all would have STDs by now. So, why not heed a little bit of advice? Hell, make drinking games that you do over the phone with each other. Find shit to do over the phone. Play cards on the phone. Play whatever. There's a million and one fucking things that you can figure out to do, and do it on the phone, away from each other, where nobody ends up getting other people sick. And then You don't have the government coming in and shutting everything down by force. Because whether you think that that's what they're itching to do, or whether you're sitting here praying that they'll do it, that's what will happen if this continues to spread like wildfire. They won't have a choice. So you either do what is asked of you and try and stop the spread, or you're going to be told what to do. It's already happening in certain cities and states, and it's happening overseas in a lot larger happenings because, well, their governments are different. We have constitutional rights, and we're allowed to be individuals here. Over in China, they were welding houses shut. Is that going to happen here? Likelihood? No. The mess that it would create afterwards or during, once that news got out, would be drastic. But could you see people being arrested? Yeah. Do you really want to be out and about with your friends in some of these major cities that have decided they're not going to arrest people that are stealing from cars, stealing from other people? You really want to roll the dice on being robbed by some asshole with a gun? Especially out in California. Especially if you're in San Diego. If you already bought and purchased a gun, but you're on the 10-day waiting period, guess what? They just closed the gun stores. You will not be getting that gun. New Jersey shut down their NICS system. You're not getting guns there anymore. It's only a matter of time. New Orleans is pushing it with their inability to transport firearms that the mayor has pushed. Now Pennsylvania is pushing that. Is any of this stuff constitutional or legal? Not really. But those legal challenges will come after all this is done and over with, not during. So whatever they're doing is going to happen. The more and more everybody pushes their luck, the closer and closer they get to martial law. Now, personally, it's not going to affect me much. I drive a truck for a living. I'm one of the most essential people out here. But if you assholes keep getting everybody else sick, eventually I'm going to get sick. And I'm going to get other truck drivers sick. And when we stop moving, you don't get food brought to the goddamn store anymore. No food for you. So I hope that with the 6-month a year supply of toilet paper you decided to buy, you also bought a month or more's worth of food. Because if you didn't, and you keep getting people sick, eventually it will run down the line to all of us. And when the trucks stop, the medical supplies stop. The food stops. The water stops. You get the people sick that run your water sanitation department in your hometown, guess what? Eventually that system will fail. It's not meant to run constantly without anyone checking the water. Think about somebody other than yourself. For once in your life, consider other people. Instead of me first, think of other people. Quit being a dickhead. I know it's hard. You've spent so many years perfecting the ability to be the perfect asshole. After this is over, go back to being the asshole. Nobody will care. They'll all probably join you in it. Until then, stay home. If you are not an essential worker, if you've got food, if you've got everything you need, stay at home. If you need groceries, everybody write a list and send one person out of the house to go get it. Don't touch the people at the store. If you need something, ask. Say, hey. When they turn around, oh, I need this. Oh, we're out. Or, oh, it's over there. You can only get 2, or you can get 10, or whatever. Don't touch those people. They're stuck around all of you every day stocking shelves. The last thing they want to do is have somebody they have no idea whether it's infected or not touch them so that they can bring that shit home to their families. Because those people all have parents, all have uncles, aunts, grandparents, whatever. And they don't want them to die because some asshole at the store came up and touched them or spoke way too closely to them and got them sick while they're trying to do what needs to be done and restock the shelves with the food that you need. Have a little bit of forethought and a little bit of consideration for other people right now. It's really not asking too much, because the other option is that the government comes in and says, no, now you will stay home. We'll drop off this food, that food, or the other food, and if you don't like it, too fucking bad, you'll eat it anyway. Is that really where you want this to go? You know, there's already people calling for the shutdown of everything. Just shut it all down. Is that where you're going with this? I mean, if that's the case, why don't you just call your congressmen and your senators and tell them that's what you want, instead of forcing it by making more people sick? Eventually, the ventilators, the beds, the PPE, everything runs out. Yeah, they're ramping up production. It takes a while for those things to be produced, and it takes a while for those things to get to the areas they need. Right now, people are being infected at an exponential rate. We cannot produce at an exponential rate. If a line will only make 1,000 of whatever item per hour, that's all it will make. And there are only 24 hours in a day. But if one person infects 2, and 2 infects 4, and 4 infects 8, and that continues, or worse, it's 1 infects 5, and 5 infect 25, and so on. That will outstrip the supply of what is needed. And we can't make more nurses, more medical facilities that are truly up to par with taking care of people overnight. Last I checked, it takes, 8, 10, 12 years to become a doctor? I don't believe we're going to have a rash of new doctors next week. At least not enough. The same with nurses. Hell, the same with CNAs that are going to be the ones that are cleaning up shit and vomit and everything else. You can only do so much. Those people can only do so much. And heaven help if they start getting sick. Because if they get sick, now you've really created a mess, because those are the people that are taking care of the sick people. And if they can't take care of the sick people, guess what? More of those sick people die. And if that exponential growth of sick people happens, that means more sick people die. It's really not a hard math problem here. It's really not a hard ask for people to be more considerate of those other than themselves. Hell, the liquor store is still open. If you need so badly to be drunk with friends, figure out a way to hook your phone up to your TV. Everybody, hell, one of you go to the liquor store, buy enough booze for everybody, drop it off to each house on your way home, on the doorstep. Everybody do some sort of conference, video chat, whatever, and play drunken bingo or something. I don't know. I don't care. Just stay at home.